the civil suit.
Yeah, I mean that would be taking things at its worst. And again, this is something which we don't know, but can only speculate. But the fact that this uncomfortable situation is created is precisely why you have ethical rules against situations like this. Why you have issues of conflict of interest to avoid this perception that justice is not being done.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the rules and the law is quite clear on this. You don't actually have to show that something untoward has happened, but it's just the issue that the situation has created speculation towards it.
Yeah. I take your point. Just on the subject of this withdrawal of the suit, I mean, what does it say about the original decision to bring the case? Because presumably, I mean, there's no settlement here, is there? I mean, they haven't admitted anything and paid any fine or any amount.
Not one which has been announced.
Just want to assume that there isn't one, or is that something we're going to be told about, or is it some sort of backroom deal or what?
I would be curious to see in the days to come if the government's going to announce a settlement or this thing just goes quiet all of a sudden. I would be very curious to see if there's anything which comes out of this. Because you're right. I mean, if you withdraw a civil case, I think the natural thing one of the requirements would be, especially with something so, of the public interest, that there must be some form of settlement or some form of explanation towards the withdrawal.
Oh,
yeah. Right now we don't have any.
I mean, if it was good enough to bring a case, I don't know, a couple of months ago, whenever it was, it doesn't just sort of go up in smoke, does it?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a little bit odd as well that the settlement wasn't, if there is one, wasn't or isn't being announced with the decision, with the announcement of the...
Yes. Yes, I mean, normally, and you're right, in practice, in a situation where a civil case gets settled out of court, the withdrawal is always coupled with an explanation for the withdrawal. And if that is due to a settlement, that settlement is also announced at a further time.
Yeah. And what I noticed as well is that it was in fact on I think the 19th or something, is that right? Which is a week ago. So, this is a report sort of a week after the...
Yes, yeah. So I suppose what happened was, especially now with the lockdown and the COVID restrictions and whatnot, a lot of these things happen either via Zoom or in chambers or through email.
Yeah.
So the news does not travel as quick as it would if there was a physical case being scheduled in court and you have reporters just waiting outside the court ready to ambush the lawyers once they leave and that. So that could be the explanation for the delay. But the fact that this is also somewhat old news, as you said, it's about 7 days old, surely an announcement of a settlement would have also been made already.
Yeah, no, it's all, and the other thing, I suppose, is, I mean, there are umpteen other lawsuits of a similar ilk, aren't there, being planned, or have been announced.
I mean,
are they all going to go?
That's the thing. It's very, very interesting to see, because at one point we got news that everyone related to the MGB situation was being sued, and then slowly you hear, a couple of settlements here and there, which is entirely the government's prerogative. But then you also have quiet withdrawals too, which is also a bit strange.
Yeah. I mean, there was actually something a bit sort of strange, wasn't there, about the civil case, because the numbers look so disproportionate and ill-argued.